All right, we're back on the record on the People versus Demetrius Jennings. It's been conversations between Mr. Bush and Mr. Jennings, and then Mr. Bush and Mr. Marvin, and then Mr. Bush with Mr. Jennings again. And Mr. Bush tells me he thinks there's going to be a resolution today. So, Mr. Jennings, if you'd raise your right hand, do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
All right. And so, Mr. Marvin, what would the offer be?
Plead guilty to possession of meth, no habitual. Your Honor, there's a domestic violence charge that would be dismissed, and that's not something we take lightly, but I did look at my file, and the victim has never contacted or responded after 3 attempts by this office over the course of several months last year. So we would dismiss DV first, and also this office would not charge absconding.
Does he have any previous drug convictions? It wasn't charged as a double.
Let's see. I'm looking now and scrolling. I don't see any.
Okay.
There is a prior marijuana charge in 17.
Okay.
It was a guilty plea, and that's all.
All right. All right. So Mr. Jennings, the offer is that you plead to a charge of possession of methamphetamine. It's a felony punishable by up to 10 years and or a fine of up to $15,000. And unless sentenced to more than 1 year in prison, the court shall impose license sanctions. They would dismiss the domestic violence. They would dismiss the habitual offender fourth offense. They would not charge absconding. Is that your understanding?
Yes, sir.
Are you currently on probation or parole anywhere?
No, sir.
So then how do you plead to the charge of possession of methamphetamine?
Guilty, Your Honor.
Now, has anyone promised you anything other than what we've talked about in court today?
No, sir.
Anybody threaten you?
No.
Are you doing this of your own free will?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that once your plea is accepted, you will not have a trial of any kind, and you'll be giving up the rights that you would have had at trial? Those include the right to be tried by a jury, to be presumed innocent, to have the prosecutor have the burden to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you are guilty, to have witnesses that testify appear against you in court and to cross-examine those witnesses. You'd have the right to ask the court to order any witnesses you want for the defense to appear in court. You'd have the right to remain silent and to not have that silence used against you, and you would also have the right to testify if you want to testify. You understand you're giving up all those rights?
I understand, yes, sir.
You also understand that if you do plead, as compared to going to trial, you're giving up some defenses possibly that could be raised, and that any appeal for your conviction and sentence would be by leave and not by right as if you went to trial.
Yes, I understand.
Okay, so it says that on or about June 16th of 2020, you were in the city of Three Rivers, the county of St. Joseph, and the state of Michigan. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
And that at that time you did knowingly or intentionally possess methamphetamine?
That's correct.
Okay, where was it?
It was in my little lighter pocket in my jeans.
Okay. Are counsel satisfied that a factual basis has been established by the defendant's statement of facts?
Defense counsel is satisfied.
Yes.
Are you, the counsel, aware of any other promises, threats, or inducements?
Mr. Jennings asked me, and I told him I would request the court to consider reinstating his bond if it is not in fact revoked by the court at the plea.
Okay. Anything else?
I'm not aware of any.
All right. Has the court complied with the court rule?
Yes.
The court has complied.
All right. I find the plea made is accurate, understanding, voluntary. There's a factual basis. Therefore, I accept the plea. So where has Mr. Jennings been in the 6 months since he failed to appear for court?
Yeah, he's been homeless, Your Honor.
Okay. Well, why didn't he contact you?
He said it slipped his mind.
Sorry?
It slipped his mind.
Okay.
Your Honor, upon release this time, I will be staying with my mom. She stays at 5719 Hawthorne Street in Kalamazoo. Just for the record, I was homeless, but now I'm working with law officials of another county on a whole nother case, and I will have a place of residency if it was accepted that the bond get reinstated, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, Mr. Marvin.
Your Honor, I'd feel a lot better if he was going to a different county in custody.
I have a little brother that stays in.
7 months is an awful long time to not show, and I just think that I don't want to waste resources, I guess. There's no assurance. If I knew more about what agency he was working with, or if there's a pending case or something, that might make sense, but.
KBAD or KBAD.
KBAD. Okay. All right, Mr. Jennings, I'll reinstate your bond. I'll need to get some information from you, and we're going to have to do some work here. You're going to need to fill out a packet for the Department of Corrections before you leave today and get that done. You were arrested at 4 o'clock in the morning on the 17th, so you've been in jail 4 days now. But I don't know what happened there that you got arrested at 3:56 in the morning. But we're going to go off the record. I've accepted your plea. We're set for sentencing on August 6th. I'm going to make it at 2 o'clock.